Okay, so we're gonna pick up where I left off. I'm having some charger issues with my phone. This is the only way that I can record. So I'm just gonna pick up where I leave off. So now I'm going to do the sensitivity test for her. The splenometric test. Okay, so I'm going to touch you with the cotton ball. Just let me know when you feel the touch, okay?
I feel it.
Just say now.
Now. Now. Now. Now. Now. Now. Now.
All right. So I did that one. That one was successful. She was able to feel the sensitivity of the cotton. So now I'm going to do the sharp and the dull test. Let me know. This is going to be the sharp feeling.
Mhm.
This side is going to be the dull. So I'm going to, this is sharp.
Okay.
This is dull.
Okay.
Can you feel the difference?
Mhm.
Okay. So just let me know when you feel sharp or when you feel dull.
Okay.
Can you slide your arms up for me?
Mhm.
All right. Can't look.
Sharp.
All right.
Dull. Sharp. Dull. Dull.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to do the lower extremity. All right. Look up.
Sharp. Dull. Sharp. Dull. Sharp. Sharp.
Okay. All right, so that was good. She was able to distinguish sharp and dull sensitivity. So now what I'm going to do is do the range of motion on her hand and on her arm. And then I'm also going to do the strength test on her arm. So what I want you to do is take your arms and move them like this for me. Down, this up, and then down. All right. So now what I want to do is put your hands like this,
Mhm.
flip them over, and then back over, and then back over. Okay. So her range of motion, the grade for that is a 5. She has full range of motion in her hands and in her arms. So now I'm going to do the strength test for her arms. So what I want you to do is do like this, but I'm going to apply resistance. Go down. All right, pull up. All right. So her strength is good. She was able to do that when I apply resistance. So next what I'm going to do is go ahead and get her to lay down. And I'm going to look at her jugular vein distension. Alright, so just go, no, this way. Lay on the pillow. I'm going to get her to lay at a 45-degree angle. This is the best that I can do because I don't have the bed that goes up. So what I want you to do is look to your right. All right, so I'm going to take my pen light and look at her jugular vein distension and make sure there's no distension. You can lay your head down. Yeah. All right, so there is no distension when looking at her jugular vein, so that's good. What I'm going to do next is go ahead and voice her femoral artery, and that's going to be right here. And I can feel her artery there. What I'm going to do now is look at her umbilicus and make sure that it is midline. Also look at the skin and look for symmetry. And also look at her contour. So her contour is is flat. And her umbilicus is symmetrical. I don't see any lesions. When I palpate, is there any tenderness?
No.
Okay, so there's no tenderness, and it is midline, which is good. So next I'm going to verbalize the spleen and the liver. So the spleen is going to be right here, and her liver is going to be right here. So that's the liver and the spleen. Next, I'm going to auscultate her abdomen sounds. I'm going to do the left upper quadrant, left lower quadrant, right upper quadrant, right lower quadrant. So I'm just going to put this up under. All right, just deep breaths for me. Okay, so I told her to take deep breaths because I did not hear her breathing just off. I don't know if she held her breath. Was you holding your breath? Because I was like, why is she breathing? But I told her to take deep breaths, but I did listen to her abdomen sounds. I didn't hear anything abnormal when listening to that. So next I'm going to go ahead and palpate her stomach and listen to that. Well, palpate, sorry, feel. Alright. So let me know if you feel any tenderness or pain when I'm palpating.
No.
Alright. So she did not report any tenderness or pain when I palpated the abdomen. Next I'm going to do range of motion in the heel to shin test on her legs. So what I want you to do is put your heel to this shin. Alright, and do that with the other one too. Okay, so the heel to shin test was successful. She was able to do that. So now I'm going to go ahead and do range of motion on her legs. So what I want you to do is lift your leg for me and then bring it all the way down. And do that with both legs. Alright? Okay. So I'm going to grade her legs a grade 5 because she was very good at doing the range of motion. So now what I want you to do on your feet, I want you to turn them inward. Yep, that's outward. And then turn them inward. Like this.
Oh.
Yep, so inward and then outward. Yeah. Okay, so that's a grade 5. That was successful when I did her range of motion on her feet. So next what I'm going to do is do the sharp dull test for the lower half.
Sharp. Dull. Sharp. Dull.
Okay. So she was able to distinguish sharp and dull on the lower half of her body. And we tested the range of motion. Her let me do the dorsalis pedis and her posterior tibial pulse. So this is the wait, she can't see me. Okay. So this is the dorsalis pedis, and this is the posterior. Alright, so when feeling those two pulses, they were strong. The strength was a 2+, and they were bounded. So the next thing I'm going to do is get her to stand up, and I'm going to do the Romberg test. So what I want you to do is stand just like this and close your eyes. Okay, so she was able to keep her balance when she did that. So next thing I'm going to get you to do is go ahead and do the heel to toe test. So what I want you to do is walk just like that, heel to toe, and take 5 steps like that.
Okay.
Okay. So she did perform the heel to toe test successfully. So now what I'm going to do is look at her thyroid. So what I want you to do is lean forward a little bit, just a little bit. Not that much. No, lean your body forward. There you go. Do you feel any tenderness when I'm doing that?
No.
Okay, so I palpated her thyroid. Next I'm going to look for CVA tenderness. Do you feel any tenderness or pain when I do that?
No.
Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to do is do her, listen to her tactile firmitis and her spinious processes on her back. So I'm going to palpate her spinious processes first. Alright, and then I'm going to do tactile firmitis. Deep breath in and out. Alright. Okay. So the same as the front, I did hear some bronchiovesicular sounds along the middle, some vesicular sounds along the outside, and some bronchi sounds along the first part. So that is going to complete my head to toe assessment. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a good day.